What up, and what's poppin'? This shit all breeze from Fahrenheit 451, part of the Fourth and Gold Network, or burning the books alive. 5-1 in the NBA yesterday. Back with my best bet in the NBA for 111, 111, January 11th. All right, so yesterday we had the Greek Freak going over 30 points, pretty much sweat free. Giannis versus the Magic, you know the vibe. Next, we had Derek White over one block. He got that in the first half. Paired that with Claxton 5 rebounds. Claxton only got 6 rebounds, so that was a little sweaty. But Claxton had 4 rebounds at halftime, so it wasn't that much of a sweat. We missed on Claxton's 7 rebounds. I watched him watch his 7 rebounds. Seventh rebound, and then went to Ben Simmons. Next up, Vucci Main. Nikola Vucevic over his 11 rebounds. I think he cashed that before halftime. Zach Levine over his 27 points and his 30 points. Cash. Zach Levine joined the Fahrenheit 451 Hall of Fame. More on that later. And then De'Aaron Fox did not end up playing. All right. A minute, a minute and 45-second recap. Like I said, I'm back on my best bet for the 11th, so let's get into those. First up, from the Detroit Pistons, Timmy Hardaway. Tim Hardaway Jr. under his one steal. I'm playing that for one unit. Got it at plus 110 over on Bet 365. No steals in his last three. No steals in his last four versus Toronto. Next, in that same game, Scotty B. Scotty Barnes over his 18 and a half points. It has moved to 19 and a half. I was looking before I hopped on live. I'll take it at 20. I should have took it at 20 for plus money last night. Scotty Barnes over his 18 and a half points, minus 115 on Bet 365, hitting this line in his last 4 out of 5 games, taking 18 shots or more in his last 4 out of 5 games. Turn up the volume, taking him for 19 points. He's taking 18 shots. He's had 20 points or more in that span of 4 out of 5 that he's hit. He's had 20 points or more. So not only has he had more than 19, he's had more than 20. 22 and 31 points in his last 2 games versus Detroit on 20 and 26 field goal attempts. All right. So if nothing else, this is a pure volume play. So crank that volume up. Next, I got 2 leans. I'll probably I just threw them in a parlay. So, but I'm not playing them straight, not as of yet. First lean is going to be Scotty Barnes from the Toronto Raptors over his 7.5 rebounds. You can get that at plus money pretty much everywhere. Plus 105 on DraftKings is what I wrote down. He's hit this line in his last 5 out of 7 games with 9 and 14 rebounds in his last 2 games versus Detroit. My next lean is going to be Demetrius Morant, Ja Morant over his 21 points. I think it's moved to 22 pretty much across the board right now. I saw 21 points minus 113 last night on FanDuel. He's hit this line in his last 3 out of 4 games with 23, 25, and 27 points. He's hit this in his last 4 versus Minnesota with 28, 24, 27, and 32 points, taking 20 field goal attempts in each of those 4 games versus in his last 4 versus Minnesota. So I was looking at this and I'm like, he should absolutely destroy Michael Conley. White Dante is in starting at point guard, I believe, going forward. I think he should still get his buckets against Dante, but I like this line even more, so I just ended up taking this. Jaren Jackson Jr. from the Memphis Grizzlies playing this for one unit. Jaren Jackson Jr. over his 20 and a half points, minus 113 over on FanDuel. If you can only get it at 22, I like it there as well. Jaren Jackson Jr. hitting this line in his last 8 out of 10 games with 21 field goal attempts or more in his last 4 out of 5 games. 21, 36, and 33 points his last 3 games versus Minnesota with 23 field goal attempts in his last 2 games versus Minnesota. So similar to Scotty Barnes, very, very, very much of a volume play, taking 23 shots in his last 2 games versus Minnesota, 36 and 33 points his last 2 games versus Minnesota. We only need 21. All right. Last but not least, Anthony Simons of the Portland Trailblazers over his 21 points, minus 106 odds over on FanDuel. He's had 22 points or more in his last 6 out of 7 games, 17 field goal attempts or more in each of those 6 out of 7 games. The last time he played Miami, he had 26 points, on 26 field goal attempts. So bang, bang, bang. That's three of them, three volume plays. Anthony Simons over 21 points. The boy taking 17 field goal attempts. Last time he played Miami, he took 26 shots. All right. So at 5:45, we will recap the picks. Tim Hardaway Jr. under one steal, play for one unit. Scotty Barnes over his 19 points, play for one unit. Leans on Scotty Barnes over his 8 rebounds and John Morant over his 22 points. Jaren Jackson Jr. over his 19 points, play for one unit. And last but not least, Anthony Simons over his 21 points, play for one unit. I do also lean Kevin Durant going over his points. I believe it's 27 in the Phoenix and Utah game. I'm leaning Devin Booker going over his 8 assists. I'm also leaning Mason Plumlee going over his 8 rebounds. Like, comment, and subscribe for your daily sports betting videos and analysis. Let's keep burning them as always. I will see you tomorrow. If you want all my plays, as soon as I take them for just 16 cents a day, subscribe to the Patreon. I will have that link down below. Love, peace, and fisheries. Let's continue to run up some units.